season, Chris Walton has been counting the points, looking towards the title. And now at the season finale, it's within reach, closer than it's ever been. All he has to do is keep clear of every other ute driver. Should be easy, right? Pushes hard into the wall. Oh, really sideways. Tap, tap, tap. Oh, big damage. Oh, no. Huge accident. Oh, we got a car over.
Oh, look at this. Oh, contact.
Oh, no. Oh, and into the wall. Massive contact. And this is absolute carnage. Oh.
That's a little tight.
Bang.
Oh,
big crack. Oh. Heavy.
Oh, this can only be bad.
Sideways.
This is round 8 of the V8 Ute Series, fueled by Holt's Breath Cafe.
Hi everyone and welcome to the streets of Sydney Olympic Park. It's the final round for 2014 in the V8 Ute Racing Series, and there's no better place to have it than here on the streets of Olympic Park. There is concrete absolutely everywhere, and when you mix concrete with V8 Ute drivers, you very regularly get chaos. Chris Walton, the former Rookie of the Year, he's in a commanding position to win the crown this weekend. But he's not there yet. This concrete canyon can bite, and as we've seen in the previous couple of years here at Sydney Olympic Park, anything can and usually does happen in the V8 Utes.
It's been an impressive catapult to the top of the V8 Ute racing ranks for Chris Walton. In 2 short years, he's claimed Rookie of the Year, finished 5th in the series last year, and now has one hand on the championship trophy. Renowned for racing hard, he's vowed not to take a conservative approach.
We'd like to go with a round win. I'm going to throw everything at it. Whatever happens, happens. But yeah, we're going to try to stay at the front. We're going to try and sit in the first 3, and if we can grab that round win, we'll go for it. If we get the round win, we've got the series. You know, you've locked it up. I don't want to be sitting in 10th place hoping the best and seeing what everyone else is doing.
While Walton has a 61-point lead over the next best, David Cedars, there's 140 points up for grabs, and Cedars has a plan to make the most of his chances.
I've got new sponsor on board to qualify me, and they came on board because I'm the biggest qualifier in the category, and that's where I've got to start it. Get out in front in qualifying, and then stay out in front in the races and just go, and hopefully the chips fall my way with a bit of misfortune. Look, no one ever likes to see that, but that's realistics, that's what I need. And realistics are, I've had a bit of misfortune this year and Chris has capitalised from it.
Jesse Dixon has saved his best form for the end of the season, narrowly missing out on his maiden round win at the last round on the Gold Coast by just 1 point to Ryle Harris.
The start of the year, I guess top 3, top 5 was the goal, but that was without actually having a taste of it. And then throughout the year we had our first race win, our first podium, setting fastest laps. It's starting to become a reality, and coming into the last round, 3rd is a really big relief for everyone because, you know, we've all been working really hard.
Reece McNally is the final driver in the mathematical championship equation and knows anything can happen on a street circuit, particularly if it rains.
I think in 2011 I threw it off at the end of the straight, sort of just aquaplaned on the water, so it is quite a treacherous track in the rain. The water doesn't seem to run off the track like a normal racetrack would, so if the heavens open, it'll be a sort of a survival game, I think, more than anything.
Ryle Harris has made a late charge, but his poor start to the year puts him out of his 3rd title contention. He's committed to returning to the series next year and wants to send a message to his rivals in this final round.
Having won the 2 championships, a lot of people expected me to move up and move on, and probably be glad to see me go on half the guys in the field. But fortunate this year that we're not in championship contention. I think the first half of the year put an end to that. We had some mechanical failures, a bit of bad luck, and I was a bit naughty in a few races, got some penalties. But I'm actually looking forward to coming into Homebush and actually attacking. The last 2 years I've been conservative because I've just got to finish the races and obviously bring the championship home, but not in championship contention this weekend, so I'm going to go out there and just be on attack mode.
Rookie of the Year for 2014 is Phil Woodbury, who's forced to sit this round out after failing to fix his car in time after a big crash at the last round.
It was certainly a wild one. It had a bit of everything for us. It's a bit of a shame it ended the way it did, but I think overall we had a good year. Our goal at the start of the year was to win the Rookie of the Year championship, and we come away with it, which was pretty amazing.
And celebrating his 100th start this weekend is George Madecki, who has fond memories of his last outing around Sydney Olympic Park.
I remember the first time we raced here in 2009, I had a great round. I won 2 out of the 3 races and really sort of stamped my authority on the category. And actually, it's what launched my career in the States. You know, Marcus Ambrose was there. He spotted me. said, mate, you've got to come and race these cars over here.
Time to check out the points. Chris Walton with that great lead. But yes, anyone inside the top four, a mathematical chance at the championship. And David Cedars does not want to finish second in the points for a third season. He's got to do something about it. Get out, go aggressive from the very get-go. He'll start inside the top three, but he won't start from pole because that'll go to Ryle Harris, your arm roll pole position winner for the second time this year. It's a grand in the hand thanks to Armour All, and Arnie looks pretty happy about that. He is number one today. Rocking some unit sunnies on the head there as well, a sponsor for the weekend. As we go off to the ad break, check this out. Chris Walton's got the Clippers and Ryan Hansford is going the Mohawk. He was dared by Ron Dawson, the team manager from Peters Motorsport, and in doing so, raising $6,000 for Ronald McDonald House, the official charity of the Utes. It's a good look. Maybe rock that one out in the city a little bit later this weekend. Also gets our King of the Track award. We're going off to an ad break, but don't go anywhere. The final round of the V8 Utes, fueled by Hog's Breath Cafe here in Sydney.
This round, we profile a driver who made an impression as a rookie last year, now enjoying his second year in the V8 Ute Racing Series, Adam Marjoram.
I got into V8 Ute racing at the start of last year where I was a rookie. Auto One gave me the opportunity to step into a V8 Ute and it was absolutely fantastic. My most memorable moment would actually be the Gold Coast race last year. In race 3 we had a pretty big crash, rode off the car and hurt myself a little bit, but after that we bounced back to Homebush and continued the rest of the year. When I'm not racing a V8 Ute, I study a Bachelor of Commerce and Economics double degree at the University of Western Australia. I also run about 8 social media pages as a job and work in 2 Auto One stores as well. I really enjoy racing the V8 Ute series. You don't know what's around the bend, and the tyre racing you see day in, day out, it's just fantastic, and it really develops a lot of skills as a driver.
It's come a long way. Adam Marjoram, here we are, not too far away from downtown Sydney, Sydney Olympic Park. Alex Davison alongside me. The drama started early in race 1. Your championship leader barely getting off the start line. Thankfully, everyone missed him. But what I love about this, Alex, is when we go to the onboard, the desperation. Listen to this.
There we go, listen to it. He's got it on the starter motor, trying to get it started. They never start quick enough when you've got cars going past you, and he's damn lucky not to get hit. It's always your biggest fear, getting hit when you stall it on the grid. But luckily he's got it going, and what's going to happen here?
This is Jared McLeod getting caught up with Mason Barbera, 17-year-old Kiwi. But the big thing about this is Walton coming to avoid the accident gets nailed. Right there, somehow he would power on. McLeod's race is done. That's 3 DNFs in a row in race 1 for poor Jared McLeod. This is another big moment. Second in the points was second in the race. Cedars gets passed by his teammate. And Alex, this would leave him vulnerable to Walton's teammate.
No holds barred there, no special teammate treatment, obviously, in that camp.
And bang, Hansford gets into the rear tailgate. Boom, sends Cedars into the fence. He'd lose about 13 spots. The left rear tail light hanging off, the whole field squeezing by, and that was just about the championship over just there.
I can't believe how tough these Utes are. We've seen 3 big contacts and they all continue in the race and finish with no problems.
Western Mazda Ute had no issues, drifting his way to his 5th victory of the year. So Walton and Pretty, bad blood between these two. Walton just needed to get around one more car to win the title. He's got the inside there, but wait for it.
Ooh.
This rivalry set to continue to next year, and the championship set to continue another race. Good job getting that turn around.
Yeah, he's lucky not to get hit by the oncoming traffic, blind circuit and all, but he's going to have to wait till the next race to wrap this championship up.
He would crawl to the finish line in 10th with a few guys getting around him. The crowd eating it up here at Sydney Olympic Park. We're treated to an absolute classic race. Ryle Harris back in form in a big way. So too Reece McNally. Ryan Hansford's going to get a points penalty, but he'll keep hold of 3rd position in that race. But all the news about our championship leader. 1, lucky to get away with this one on the start line. 2, to get away with the contact with McLeod. And then this on the last lap, this would be deemed a racing incident. Turned around with 1 corner to go. He would have wrapped up the championship, but it's going to the next race.
Chris Walton, you could have nearly, possibly should have had it wrapped up in that one. What's your thoughts on that move between yourself and Pretty? Did you think it was clear, or did you think it was a bit ambitious?
The actual move itself was fine. I was in there, I'd done it, there was no touch. We turned right, no problem. I thought I'd cleared him for the next corner. I also thought I left room. I don't know, I haven't looked at the footage. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. The results are what the results are. I mean, we lost more, but we can't. There's no use jumping up and down about it. It's what it is, and we're bringing lucky. There's still 2 races to go to try and solve the stuff up that I made in race 1.
Tell you what, it sets the scene beautifully for these final two races of the championship in 2014. Favourable position for Chris Walton. There he is, pulling up now onto the grid. He'll start off the second row as well, which is also favourable. Just needs to finish this race to get the title. It's going to be Michael Armand off pole position. Top 12 are reversed. Elliot Barber alongside him in the front row. Raul Harris, your race winner, coming out of 12th.
And we've got David Seed is way back in 15th, still a mathematical chance for the championship, but he needs to win the race and Walton needs to have a DNF, so he's hoping all these ducks line up today.
The two guys that got caught up in the fence, McLeod and Barbera, a long way back, but a good job just to get that thing fixed and back onto the track. There are the points. Cedars needs to win both races and hope that Walton crashes out of both. It's a tall order. V8 Ute Series penultimate race. And away we go, another stall. This time it's Dixon, slow to move. And everyone avoids contact with a small bit of a scrape, just maybe. We head off down Australia after turn one. The leaders are out of here.
Michael Armand with a great start off pole position. He'll have the line into turn one. We're on board with Craig Dondas, 3 wide on the outside of turn one. Not where you want to be. But they all sneak through. That was very well behaved by Ute standards today.
There's a tyre wall on the outside there, and they got away with it. There's Slick Meadiki up the inside, and on the outside, the Just Car Insurance Commodore of Elliot Barber swings to the lead. The red Ute slots into third. He's got Andrew Fisher behind him. This is the very tight turn 2 chicane.
Oh, 3 wide again into the turn 2, 3, 4 chicane. Elliot Barber did a good job staying around the outside of turn 1 and having the line into turn 2. So he's got clear track in front of him now. He'll try and get a bit of a gap.
Over the curbs at 6 and 7 we go. And oh no, Mason Barbera, the 17-year-old Kiwi, for his first weekend in Australian Utes will get 2 DNFs. It doesn't do justice to just how quick he has been. He started the first race by getting 8 positions on the first lap, so that's sad.
A lot of damage to the front of his car there, so it'll be interesting to see if we do have a safety car or not, or whether he can get it back to the pits.
So far we're still racing. Second last race of the championship, and at the moment Walton's doing all that he needs to wrap up that title over the curbs.
You guys using all the road and then some. Obviously Walton back in 3rd place. He said at the start of the show he wants to keep pushing through these 3 races this weekend. He doesn't want to sort of consolidate, and that's the right attitude to have. So you can see him right up behind Michael Armand there trying to move forward.
Michael Armand, a fairly talented Porsche Carrera Cup driver. There's also won races in TCM over in Perth, and he's got his hands full here because here comes the fast board around the outside down Australia Ave, pulling gears. Who's going to win the race under brakes down towards turn 1?
Braking late, committing on the outside.
Looking back from the race leader, Extreme Clutch is on board, and Walton has taken away second spot. Armand deciding to not put up much of a fight, and I saw some yellow flags. Barber backing off. Looks like we have gone to a safety car. And it's on approach down towards turn 2, which is where the Barbera car, I think, got stranded. Red and yellow flags saying that there's maybe some coolant on the track as well.
Here we go. So you can see this big pack coming right at the back of the field here with a 3 wide. Barbera, big contact looks like with the car in front of him, and heavy front end damage.
Yeah, that was Peter Ward, a fellow Kiwi, so the 2 Kiwis may be getting together. We're going to go off to an ad break. Elliot Barber's your leader. Stay with us. Second last race of the championship for the V8 Ute Series, fueled by Hawke's Breath Cafe. Sydney Olympic Park is the venue. And driving for Murphy Motorsport in the Just Car Insurance Commodore as Elliot Barber leads us back to the green flag. Rookie of the season from last year, ahead of the 2012 Rookie of the Year, Chris Walton, heading down the front straight towards turn 1 of Walton, doing exactly what he needs to do right now to win the championship.
Elliot Barber getting a great restart from out in front. Couple of car lengths gap across the line, but Chris Walton has got his head down and trying to go with him. Michael Armand already dropping back a couple of car lengths.
Yeah, Armand, your pole sitter, just sitting back there in 3rd. He's got Andrew Fisher behind him. Still those debris flags out down here at turn 2, so everyone will just be a little bit cautious. Could be some slippery stuff on the surface.
Yeah, definitely. The heavy front end damage on Barbera's car was probably cooled down there at turn 2, 3, 4, but that will dry up pretty quickly and everyone's getting through there with no dramas.
Such a tight racetrack this place. The walls, especially through there in turn 5, come at you at a rapid rate.
Elliot Barber pushing hard, nice and sideways through turn 5 there. Oh, and plenty of curb as well. You can see how savage those curbs are on the cars.
Alex, the key to street circuits are the curbs, aren't they? If you want to find speed, you've got to get aggressive.
We always talk about it watching these V8 Utes on the street circuits. I mean, the cars cars are so strong, they can really launch them over the curbs. But the trick is getting cleanly over the curbs without doing big double bounces and getting sideways. And that's difficult in any type of race car.
This is a good move. It's Hansford. And he's just going side by side with Nathan Pretty. Fair bit of respect between these two.
And Pretty staying around the outside there and keeping his position. But the battle is still on there. And the battle is on up the front with Elliot Barber.
Just almost on the defensive there, wasn't he? With Walton behind him. Now, that was the exact same corner where Hansford got into the back of Cedars in race 1. Good save, though.
Dixon round the outside and getting squeezed out into the wall.
Held on to it. It was Jeremy Gray that was involved. There's Kim Jane. And race 1 winner in the West End Mazda Falcon is tied to the wall. It's Harris.
And Harris said he was going to charge this weekend, and he didn't lift then. He had less than a car between that other car and the wall, and he kept his foot down. So great racing.
Well, this is heating up. Now we've got McNally involved in that battle, but the battle's back on for the lead. Extreme Clutches on board and whizzing up the inside. And with a good approach to turn 2 is champion-elect Renko Ute to the lead. Nice move.
And Walton not backing off and just collecting points in this race. He got a great run out of turn 1, and now you can, as we always see him do, he'll put his head down and try and get a gap.
Well, amazingly, we haven't seen him win a race since Townsville. He's been playing the championship game since then. On board with Craig Dontis, the thirsty camel door over near the wall. He's got Dixon to his right, gets that job done. Turn 5, be careful through here.
Yeah, you don't want to try and go around the outside of turn 5, and Dixon's done a good job slotting in behind Craig Dontis.
Had Elliot Barber and Andrew Fisher both have heavy contact with the wall in turn 5 so far this weekend. Miedeke.
Dixon defending into turn 8 there.
Marjorum's going slowly at turn 8. Not too sure what's happened to Adam Marjoram. All the things.
Looks like he has a puncture or suspension damage. Looks like a right rear puncture, I reckon.
He was doing the crab walk, wasn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't look good.
Floating around. These guys swerving aggressively. Hawkeye on board looking at the back of the thirsty Camel Ute. And here comes second in the points as well. He's going to be stuck to the outside. I think he's on the outside of George Miedeke. Now make that the inside. Aggressive move, Cedars.
He's still be thinking about that championship, even though the game's nearly over. I'm sure he won't stop pushing till the checkered flag falls. So making up positions there, Cedars.
Jared McLeod and the McMahon Mining Ute off the back row is now fighting with these guys just outside the top 10. That is not a bad effort at all. He's come flying through the field.
He's had an amazing race so far. A little bit of battle damage on the front of the McMahon Mining Ute.
Now this is a replay. This is on board with Kim Jane, and looked like maybe Adam Marjoram had already struck trouble by that point. He was out near the wall.
Yeah, had a huge moment into turn 5. Did a great job to keep the car off the wall. That's the last place you want something failing on your car, but looks like potentially it wasn't a puncture like we first thought. Maybe damaged suspension from the curbing around here. Not hard to do.
McLeod still working his way through this field. There's a Ute rookie that is going by. It's Tyler Greenbury, the Queenslander from Toowoomba, now living in Brisbane in his first Ute weekend. Has a lot of experience in karts and also the Aussie racing cars. Just giving McLeod a bit of room there. This thing looks heavily beaten up.
It looks real beaten up, but it's still going round all right. And that's what I'm always amazed. These cars come back to the pits after a race looking like they've just done the Paris-Dakar rally, but they still seem to work well.
Yokohama replay, and Danny Bazadzik sideways at turn 8. He's doing a good job of keeping off the walls out there. He's actually had to go to a different car this weekend after detonating a motor on the outlap in practice 1, and
Craig Dontis shaking his head, stuck in the wall there.
Ooh, he does find half a race and gets out of there.
And I'm sure his car will be fine and he'll finish the race.
Everyone else is.
But he'll be very upset about that at the back of the pack now. Car looks relatively, well, it's not really straight, but it's driving straight, so hopefully he can continue on.
Small mercies towards the end of this one for Craig Dontis. There's your race leader in the gap back to second. Michael Arman doing a good job. Taking to third. This is the final lap now, so it's been shortened from its original distance due to the safety car. Here we go.
Jesse Dixon up the inside. Hopefully Dontis gives him a bit of room, but heavy contact. Hard to see what happened there.
Come on, call it.
I'm not. Everyone rings me and abuses me when I say it's their fault the week after this, so I'm going to sit on the fence.
I'll let you off this time. Last lap for your race leader, and talk about putting an exclamation mark on the championship, looking for his first win since Townsville, doing it easy now. And I think he sent down a message in the first race where he tried to pass Pretty to get the championship done. the first race of the weekend. He wasn't going to go out there and cruise around to get the points.
No, he's out in front, he's had his head down and he hasn't held back. And on these street circuits, that's really hard to do. To get out in front, when you've got pressure on, you know you have to finish and use all the road, rub your mirrors up the wall and punch out those lap times. And he's done that brilliantly, so well done.
What a rise to the top of the Ute ranks it's been. Rookie of the Year back in 2012. Won this round last year, so likes the street circuits. A season of dominance that started early. And since then, he's been collecting the points in his third season to put this thing to the top. With the Renko employees that are here this weekend, Chris Walton is going to do what he did in New Zealand this year and win the V8 Ute Series. He and Chris Pither are both champions of New Zealand and Australia now as well. Congratulations to Chris Killer Walton. He slows down alongside the pit fence near the Peters Motorsport boys.
Bouncing his car on the rev limiter across the line for the boys on the wall.
Fifth race win for the year, equaling that of Ryle Harris as well. Michael Arman, home in third position. Great effort from the South Aussie, hanging with the guys at the front. But there it is, Walton wins 2014. The Queenslander is on top. Hard-earned championship. Congratulations to all of the Peters Motorsport boys and to Chris Killer Walton.
Chris Walton, you've done it. It's been a bit of a crazy start to the weekend for you, but you got there nonetheless.
Yeah, I was sort of thrown a bit at it myself, you know, so made a few mistakes, which shouldn't have happened, but it did. But at the end of the day, we've got the championship now, so it's, it's just continue on from here.
I can see those emotions are still in check. You just want to get the weekend over with, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't really kicked in yet, to be honest with you. It's something I think will after the last race, when everything's done, the season's over, everyone just drops their tools and relaxes. So I suppose that's when it'll kick in. And, we'll just enjoy the third race here today.
Well done, Chris. Well, the action's still coming at us thick and fast here in Sydney. One more race remains for the season. You do not want to miss it.
The V8 Utes are well and truly built tough to withstand the rigours of racing, but they may have met their match. Meet Hawkeye, the Australian-made military vehicle. When it comes to durability, Hawkeye is in a league of its own.
The vehicle itself has really been designed for blast aspects of it. So when for our troops overseas in areas they're working in, that the vehicle itself does have a lot of blast protection. So there's a lot of the glass itself is good for ballistic protection for being shot at, but also underneath the vehicle, the plan is to actually ensure that the soldiers inside are being kept very, very safe in an aspect of a blast scenario.
So while the V8 Utes need durability and pace to perform at their best, Hawkeye is light and agile, yet boasts strength and speed for operations in the harshest conditions.
Yeah, it's been really designed to ensure that the vehicle itself for mobility works really well, so it can, climb hills, go in areas that is really quite restricted. It is a four-wheel drive vehicle, runs a dual transfer case, and with the performance of a twin turbo engine gives us the performance we need for the capability.
For more info, head to the V8 Utes website.
Final race of the championship for 2014. Alex Davison joining me in the commentary box for this one. It's also race number 100 for George Miedeke, so congratulations to Slick. And another stat for you, race one winner in every race so far this year has gone on to win the third race, so that's good news for Ryle Harris. And your championship winner, Chris Walton, was actually docked 5 seconds for a jump start in that last race.
There you go. He's made it hard for himself this weekend, but still wrapped the championship up. So everyone out now that the championship's over, everyone's out in this last race just trying to simply get a win, It's bragging rights only.
All or nothing kind of weekend from here. We had Tim Blanchard registered with us this weekend. Only got the one race in as he had a blown motor. Final race for Chris Walton to maybe now claim another win. Pickles Auctions on board with us this weekend, along with Hog's Breath Cafe, dropping the hammer for the final race of the championship. Good even start between Ryle Harris, alongside him Ryan Hanford. Similar initials on the same part of the racetrack down towards turn one, and that was on board with Chris Walton. And good start, Harris slides wide, turn one.
Harris had the line, but outbroke himself a little bit.
And Elliot, the boys know how to get it now. We're now right on board with the leader as well, looking back from Elliot Barber, who somehow emerged at the point of the field, and somehow everyone's pointing in the right direction down in turn two, despite all the push and shove.
Got everyone double bouncing over the first chicane. Jeremy Gray cutting the first chicane, but everyone getting through so far cleanly.
Didn't look like he got an advantage out of that, so there won't be anything to redress. And man, if you're in Elliot Barber's shoes right now, you just got to run.
You got to run because you got Ryle Harris, who's on the charge. in second place, and he won't be holding back, that's for sure. He's already been braking late on this first lap. Outbroke himself a little bit at turn 1. Outbroke McNally at turn 2 with the inside front wheel locked. The pack's settling down now. Everyone behaving well through turn 8. It's a danger corner, that one, off cam, but we see so many cars end up in the wall on the outside there, so we'll keep an eye out for that corner later in the race.
Down the roller coaster we go. Dawn Fraser have an approach to turn 8. Heavy braking this part of the circuit. And that's Andrew Fisher in the Jesus Racing Ute, falling in behind Jesse Dixon, who hasn't been able to shoot up any higher from 3rd in the points so far this weekend.
Behind him, Chris Walton, who won't be happy to be so far back in the pack after his wrapping up the championship after the second race, so he'll be charging through, that's for sure. Keep an eye on him.
Can he pick off 1 or 2 more spots to end the year? But across we go to finish the first lap of the weekend. You can see the Pickles auction stickers aboard every windscreen. Thanks to Pickles for their help this weekend. I think there might be a few utes to pick up for cheap at the end of this, because there's been a fair bit of chaos.
Ryle Harris, his last race with the number 1 plate for the time being, putting plenty of pressure on Elliot Barber. He's all over him and seems to have a little bit of extra pace at the moment, so Barber better keep his eyes forward and not look in the mirror.
Looked like maybe Walton was thinking about a move at the approach to turn 2. Here's the GoPro Commodore in the hands of Nathan Pretty. He's also got the Clipsal 500 stickers on. Looking forward to kicking off 2015 at our traditional starting point in Adelaide once again next year. Oh, Jeremy Gray.
Defending hard, Jesse Dixon putting the pressure on. All over Jeremy Gray coming into turn 5 there.
Jesse Dixon coming off the back of the podium at the Gold Coast has been so strong in the back half of this season. Michael Arman in the Toshiba Ute bouncing over the curbs as we ride on board, Pickles Auctions on board with Kim Jane.
Looking back at Nathan Pretty, he'll be trying to get a good run. Down into turn 9, over the roller coaster is a great spot to overtake, but very easy to lock brakes over those crests. And Ryle Harris up the inside, both front wheels locked. He's going to run very wide, keeps it off the tyres and doesn't lose a spot. So big lunge there. Didn't quite work out for him, but he'll live to have another crack.
That was on the absolute edge, right on cue, as he's saying, just how easy it is to lock the tyres down there. Big double front lockup that's going to do these old sludgy tyres at this point of the weekend no good, but he seems to be really good at racing on the old rubber, Ryle Harris.
Yeah, look, he's very good at driving these utes, very good at driving right on the limit, and it's good fun watching him. He's good at overtaking, and he never holds back, that's for sure. He has a good crack. So he's right behind Elliot Barber again now. Maybe he'll have a look at turn 1. But I don't think he's quite close enough. Pulls back in behind. You can hear the tyres squealing on Elliot Barber's car, so they're all driving right on the limit. All using all the road. Elliot Barber knocks his mirror back. That's perfect. When you knock the mirror back but don't bash it off, you know you've used all the road and not too much.
That is on the edge, and that's to the limit that you need to drive when you've got a guy like Ryle Harris, a 2-time champion, filling your mirrors. Now, there's local yellows down here at the moment, so no passing.
I wonder what those yellows are for. But can't see anyone there.
Hard to see at the moment. Let's pick up a replay thanks to Yokohama of the race start. This was an amazing save from Ryle Harris.
Ryle Harris had the line, outbroke himself a little bit, and also had Elliot Barber into the back of him, so he did a good job to keep it off the wall. The rest of the field piling through there, a little bit of contact here and there.
It's a frantic start. Let's ride on board the Just Car Insurance Ute. He's got Reece McNally, the West Aussie, within arm's reach. Jeez, it's close. Pulling gears, thinking about your line down towards turn 1.
Late on the brakes. He sort of had a bit of a look at first, but did a good job. He capitalised on Ryle Harris running wide and had the lead.
It was a great shot as the boys went bumping and shoving towards turn 2. It was also going on further back. Watch this one. Mason Barbera getting airborne on the back of Noel Edge, and a big lockup from Jeremy McLeod. Plenty going on. Final race of the year. Racing around a venue with great history. Sydney Olympic Park, home of the Olympics back in the year 2000. We're racing around the stadiums that saw all those famous moments, including Kathy Freeman's big win. But today it's all about racing of a different kind. The Utes in their last race for the championship. Elliot Barber is the leader at the moment, but he's got a very fast and furious Ryle Harris behind him.
We've got Elliot Barber out in front, obviously getting hassled by Ryle Harris. And Reece McNally still right there. Kim Jane dropping back a little bit, but Ryan Hansford putting all the pressure on Nathan Pretty.
Oh, Jesse Dixon and Jeremy Gray, they're nice and close down at the bottom of the roller coaster. They managed to sort it out. sure Walton was sideways in the background coming out of turn 10. Tight, twisty, 90-degree corners, one after the other.
And look at he couldn't get any closer. He couldn't get those utes any closer. Harris putting plenty of pressure on Elliot Barber. Barber getting nice and sideways out of that last corner. I expected Harris to get a bit of a run on him because of that, but probably still safe enough that Harris isn't close enough to have a lunge at turn 1. His number plate hanging off. You can see he's been pushing Barber along, and McNally having a look up the inside. Oh, bit of a nudge there.
Bit of a tap.
Just to let him know he's there. Doesn't want him to forget.
It's awkward when you're the middleman in a situation like this, because as soon as you go offline to try and get the lead, you could get snapped up and end up in third.
It's very, very tricky. I mean, the trick is keeping your eyes forward and just attacking. But you also got to be mindful of who's behind you, and McNally is not letting up, and he's put. You can see how the game swung around a little bit just in 2 corners. All of a sudden, Harris is on the back foot and McNally's putting pressure on him. Barber has a few car lengths up his sleeve, so he's got to try and capitalise on that couple of car lengths, put his head down, and break Harris's charge a little bit, I suppose.
Holden desperate to win another race so far this year. They've got currently 8 in the bank, looking to make that 9. And it's currently 15 the way of the Ford, so they're looking the goods at the moment. The Blue Oval, it's been a strong year. We've seen 10 different winners so far, which is on par with what we had last year, 10 different winners from the 24 different races. Hawkeye on board with Craig Dontis. A podium for this guy in the opening round. He shared that podium with the Qualify Me driver behind him, that's Cedars. And again, this looks like being another championship that's going to slip away. For the 3rd time, he'll finish 2nd. He's also finished 3rd in there at one point as well. 4 championships that have gone begging.
Oh, it's a great record to have, but we've got Hansford up the inside of Pretty. He's been trying that for a few laps. This is an exact replay of race 1. Pretty got his nose in. Luckily for Hansford.
And I think maybe Hansford realised the situation he was in there and decided to give him a bit more room.
A bit of room. Luckily for Hansford, he didn't get turned around like Chris Walton in race 1, but don't know what happened there. I know the result is Harris just drove straight past, so maybe Elliot Barber missed a gear shift or something there, because he just drove straight past him down the straight.
It's a dying occasion, isn't it, missing gears? Now, looking forward, and that's the battle that was ahead of us.
Yeah, Hansford did a good job just giving him enough room to sneak through without getting hit. Pretty keeps his nose up the inside there, and there's contact again at the last corner. They both did a good job. Here we go, on board with Elliot Barber. We're going to see what happened, and yeah, look. Missed his gear shift from 2nd to 3rd, which is a tricky one across the gate, and that was all Harris needed.
Found 5th. Not what you need. And with sequential gearboxes in most of our categories, or paddle shifts and Porsches, it's quite rare that you see people missing gears on old school H-pattern boxes.
Oh, Barber using all the road. Big slide out of turn 8. That's very cool. But back to the gearboxes. I love that these guys still use an H-pattern. I mean, I wish V8 Supercars stayed with the H-pattern. Here we go. McNally up the inside. Good move. Good move. And he's seen Barber's had a bit of a tough lap, lost a spot. Momentum's going backwards, and that's the perfect opportunity to push hard and try and capitalise on it before Barber finds his rhythm again. So, was that Walton in the wall there?
Absolutely slapped the fence at the exit to turn 10. I think the tyres are starting to go off.
Walton obviously trying to get back up the front. He'd love, even though he's won the championship, I'm sure he would have loved to have finished the year in the final race.
Look who's in front of him.
Nathan Pretty, his old mate, you know, he'll be actually, now he's got nothing to lose. He's probably thinking, I'm going to get you back for turning me around in race 1. So this will be interesting. Hopefully he catches up for him, for our sake. Here we go, replay.
I think maybe, big oversteer gets the tyres.
Yeah, on the gas a little bit too early. Did a good job saving it. I don't think there'll be any damage to his ute there.
That's the desperation. He's trying so hard to chase him down. Oh, that was Andrew Fisher.
I don't think that was contact. It looked like there was fire coming out the bottom of his car. Was I dreaming?
No, I saw the same thing.
Yeah, he's got a mechanical drama of some sort there.
There's a lot of smoke out the back. We saw Danny Bazadzik have the motor let go in practice, and these guys had to rebuild the ute after practice as well, after a nasty right-hand side crash at turn 5. And maybe this is let go of motor. Let's have a look.
Yeah, you can see him sliding on his own oil there. Big oil fire out the bottom of the car. On the next time round, the leaders will have to be careful of that oil at turn 1, I suppose. But luckily, he got the car off the track, and we don't have to have a safety car.
Yeah, I wonder if there might be a little bit of oil down there to watch out for at turn 1. Might see the red and yellow flags down there. Jeremy Gray staying out of trouble towards the back of this one. It's starting to settle down just a little bit. Reece McNally in second, doing an amazing job so far. The back half of this season looking to go for a 4th podium in 5 rounds. Reece McNally in the Stratco Ute really finding his feet. Probably since we had that bad one in Sandown where it broke the drive shaft, but since then it's all been pretty much winning ways for Reece McNally. We're going to go off to a short ad break, dying few laps to the season for 2014. Don't go anywhere. Just 3 laps remain for season 2014. Roll Harris, outgoing champion, sitting at the point. Kim Jane, it's been a bit of an off-season by his lofty standards. He's down there in 4th, and he's got the fast-approaching Ryan Hansford closing in.
Yeah, Ryan's definitely on the move forward. We can see Chris Walton catching right up to the back of Nathan Pretty too, so I'm hoping to see a great battle here in the last couple of laps. Hopefully a few fireworks going off.
Nichols Auctions on board.
Hansford just ducking out of the mirrors a little bit just to have a look, maybe sight his braking marker. But right behind Kim Jane, a little bit messy over the curbs there. He'll lose a bit of time and he'll have Nathan Pretty all over the back of him coming up to turn 5. As we said earlier, it's everyone's got to use. You've got to use lots of curb, but you've got to get the car over the curbs cleanly. And sometimes if you sort of land too early and you do a big double bounce, you can lose a lot of time. Hitting the tyre barriers there. He's close enough to have a look here into turn 8. Is he going to do it?
Half a chance.
No, he did the right thing and pulled out, then concentrated on his exit out of 8. Maybe he can have another look down at the roller coaster at turn 9.
What's it like when you're looking in the mirrors and you know the bloke behind you is not exactly best mates?
Oh, look, Pretty will be aware of it, that's for sure. Definitely knowing that Chris Walton doesn't hold back. Pressure's off, his championship's done, so a little bit of revenge would just top his weekend off nicely, probably.
Be a good way to finish the year. There'll be certainly a few more headlines going into next year. He's thinking about it. Down towards turn 11 as we go around the train station.
And Pretty running wide. Walton will try and get a cut back and maybe have a look into the last corner there. Tricky one to do. Pretty runs wide. Walton's got a good run, so it's going to be on down here at turn 1.
He got too close to him.
Yeah, he had to sort of lift and fumble the gear shift a bit. He's still pretty close, though. 2 laps to go, so he's got 2 laps to have a go at him, and he's definitely got pace on him at the moment. And he's also got Jesse Dixon right behind him, having a look, hoping to maybe pick up the pieces when these guys come together.
Jesse Dixon, the #1 Holden runner for the season, finished second in the Rookie of the Year honours, and here we go, turn 2. You're going to be very brave if you're going to pull it off down here.
Yeah, not quite close enough, especially with a fast guy like Nathan Pretty, but he's under pressure. He sort of turned in from mid-track there, covering his line a little bit. Both of these guys right on the limit, using all the curbs. Both brush their mirrors down the wall on the exit of turn 1. Here we go through the treacherous turn 5. Walton right on Pretty's bumper. Not really a passing spot into turn 6, but you've got to get a good run through 6 because turn 8 is a passing spot.
And it also sets up the run down Dawn Fraser Ave. Can he get close enough? The champion-elect has a sniff, needs to get a good run out of here, maybe.
Maybe, he got a pretty good run, but Pretty's got a couple of car lengths. That'll be enough to keep him safe. Into turn 10 this lap, over the roller coaster. Brake hard in the compression, ease off the brakes when you get to the crest as the car unloads. Down to 2nd gear by the sounds of it for these guys. Close to the wall, you pick up a bit of grip on the concrete patch there through turn 11. And there's actually really good grip out of turn 11, so early on the power. Back to the last sector, very tight through here. In between, in the utes, it sounds like they use 2nd gear, but you can hear it's really low in the revs in 2nd gear, and important to get a good run out of that last corner.
So he's got 1 more lap to get him, but your race leader has taken the last lap board. It's Royal Harris riding on board once again. This battle heating up for 4th position on the track. Is Hansford close enough? He's coming from downtown on this one.
And even if he's not close enough, he's having a look, but was too far back, but putting the pressure on Kim Jane. So there's 2 great battles going on for the minor places here.
Old wily dog like Kim Jane's not going to fall for that trick. Looking up the inside towards turn 1 and down towards turn 2, there's nothing doing here either.
And by sticking his nose in and having half a look at 1, it actually ruined his run out of turn 1, but he's caught back up at the 2-3-4 chicane and right back behind Kim Jane.
Hansford's been quick all weekend, looking to stand on the podium, and at the moment he's doing enough in terms of the weekend points to climb onto the podium. be his first one ever at this track.
Nathan Pretty's just broken Chris Walton at the moment, got a couple of car lengths lead, which maybe is all he's going to need to get, finish this race off in front of him and stop Chris getting his revenge back from race 1.
So you can kind of finish the year with a small amount of bragging rights there, but it's really Walton who will win the war. Champion for 2014 with the last few corners remaining. Here is your champion from the last 2 years with Unit Clothing on the tailgate helping out the West End Mazda Ute. Starts to enjoy himself.
He's a brave boy, mucking around before the race is always finished, but he's pretty safe out in front there. McNally, great result in second. He's had a fantastic year.
Elliot Barber, who's started towards the front of this one, is doing a good job in third. Amazing. The winner of race 1 goes on to win race 3. Once again, he's done so in every race. Nice big snaky to the finish line. And Ford will come home with 16 wins to 8 this year. What a turnaround that is from last year when it was 12 apiece. But we ride to the checkered flag with your champion.
Yeah, look, Walton will be disappointed not to finish better in that last race, but that disappointment won't last long when he remembers he's won the championship after a pretty dominant year, really.
Nice work from Raul Harris to celebrate in style. That's his 6th race win for the year. 2 more than anyone else, but unfortunately it won't help him too much in the points because the damage was done earlier on. Reece McNally will be on the podium once again. So too Ryan Hansford. That's how they end for the weekend. Nathan Pretty will finish 4 points shy on equal pegging as well with Chris Walton, which is quite serendipitous. But congratulations, Raul Harris.
Raul, that's a way to stamp your authority on your pace in this championship.
Yeah, obviously the first half of the year is what cost us the title, I think. Going off the form, we won 3 out of the last 4 rounds, so it's a case of what could have been. But, a few mistakes on my part, some mechanical failures, just a mixture of bad luck, and that's all it took. So you got to finish up your race in this game. Having won the last 2 championships, I know what it takes, and we'll be back next year. I'll rip that number 1 off Chris's door, that's for sure.
The points at the end of the year, and it ended up being 79 points clear of David Cedars. Jesse Dixon, fantastic effort, 3rd in only his 2nd season. And time to celebrate in the Renko Ute.
And Chris Walton celebrating in style, bouncing his ute off the limiter, resetting the valves there. This is the celebration you want to do all year, so he should enjoy it after a really great season.
Well, Chris, you can put that smile on now because it's all over and done with. You are the champion.
It is, yeah, it's great. It's all done now, so, what can I say? There's nothing to say, it's all over. So, it's just great, and I can't thank this team so much, like everything, all the way through for all the work they've done, it's just awesome. So, it was for them.
Didn't take you long to get to the top. A rookie not long ago, and here you are now.
No, it's all happened pretty fast, but like I say, the team, they've just been brilliant. They've just got better every year, and we'll be back and better next year.
Going to check out some of the awards. Our DBA heartbreaker is Jared McLeod, passing 12 utes, earning himself $500. And I think he's pretty happy about that. Our Rookie of the Year, thanks to Wanda Paints, is Phil Woodbury. He'll also win the Ashley Cooper Award for his efforts as well. Cooper, Rookie of the Year back in 2006, and Raul Harris, top step of the podium for the first time in Sydney. Congratulations, but it's all about this guy, Chris Killer Walton, champion in 2014, the 10th different series champion, I might add, since the series kicked off in 2001. We cannot wait for your company next year. It all kicks off in the streets of Adelaide, thanks to Alex Davison, and on behalf of everyone at V8 Utes, thanks for watching in 2014. We'll see you next year.